Well. Oh, we're starting. Shit, I didn't realize it was time already. Do you all like the band Journey?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, let's do a little Journey song, shall we?
Oh shit.
Let me
You do have the
let me
pitchfork.
turn my mic in the right deal. Let me set up my settings here to the right deal. Let me take a swig of beer because this one could get ugly. Guys,
Oh, yeah.
do me a favor. Just keep your commenting down through the song and save it for the end because I think it interrupts.
I'm going to mute myself.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, here we go, everybody. Just bring it back here. Did I do my mic? Yes. Okay. I'm sorry about this, everybody. When the peps think they're so witty and the plans don't go their way, do they know they're so shitty? Oh. So you think they're phony? Well, my friend, you're right on cue. We want to get back to the regular 401k. It's sad. Peps are so boring, telling the world what's not true. They're not the bomb. Oh, my.
We're on.
When the peps leave our cities and they get the fuck out of the way, then I'll finally be so giddy. Oh. Okay. Are you there? Did Brandon mute all of you? I can't even hear you.
That was one of your better performances there,
Oh,
JD.
God.
That was impressive.
That was,
Oh my
that
God.
was
Thank you
something.
so much. The silence was deafening. I couldn't hear you. I was all on my own on an island just singing, from the bottom of my heart. I didn't know. To hear this feedback just fills my heart. I love you guys.
You put some time into the practice there, and it showed.
I'd like to say that that's true, but maybe not.
You do owe 5 acronym shots though. Just gonna say.
This is why I brought a big fat bottle of Kettle One, because I've been drinking a lot of vodka in my free time. And
Thank you for making that a button for me, Brandon.
Now it's for work. We're going to go into headline number 1 while I catch up on 5 drinks. Welcome, everybody, to Retireholics. Glad that you're here. This article comes from the Globe News Wire and is titled Asure? I don't fucking know. Software.
Asure
teams up with Vestwell to launch the Asure 401k plan. Here's my thing. Aaron Shum and Vestwell. These people do press releases for every partnership they have. And maybe we should learn from this, because I don't remember like Voya or Empower or whoever saying, oh, we just did a partnership with Paylocity and we have 360 integration and get all these news releases. However, the disruptors, this is kind of a venture capital thing. They like to keep pumping this stuff out so the people that gave them hundreds of millions of dollars are comforted that they're moving in the right direction. But the question I have for y'all is, remember when we were going to do well with payroll integration, or I should say payroll partnerships as an industry? And we've talked about this a lot on the show, and we kind of failed as an industry. But then the disruptors, or what I'm hearing people call now the digital record keepers, came along and had very successful relationships with some of these payroll providers to the tune of where it fueled, tens of thousands of plans. So they kicked the shit out of us on that strategy. Are we learning something? And now that Vestwell is partnering with this company who looks like it's a human resources benefits type of software, not necessarily just a payroll play, but something in that same genre. Is this the next frontier? Should we be looking at this and being like, why are we not? Because I don't think legacy industry does this stuff a whole lot. Am I wrong? Let's let our guests just chime in. Jim, did anything I said there make any sense to you?
Yeah, JD, it made a lot of sense, because I think if you look at any industry, it always goes from integration to disintegration and back to integration. That's just the cycle of business. And I think no different here, that we may be headed down a road where you start seeing what we call a bundled offering, where a record keeper does TPA services. It may be all bundled, like what an ADP and Paycheck.
Yeah, third-party administrator, you owe a penalty drink.
And automatic data processing.
Okay,
You got two in there.
Oh, that's right.
How about this to you, Chad? I seem to see a lot more of these strategic partnerships where it looks like, hey, like this particular one, this company has 100,000 clients or something. And they're saying together, look, we're partnered with Vestwell, and Vestwell's saying we're partnered with them. We're going to go sell plans to all of these clients. Now, we could have done all kinds of deals like this historically, and I'm sure plenty of them do get done, but is this a big deal? Is this going to come to fruition? Are they going to get a shit ton of plans out of this? And then second part of the question, Chad, is this kind of like building something together and then offering it. Like, you've been in that position as a third-party administrator where you want to say, we're going to go to this broker dealer nationally and we're going to be their go-to third-party administrator. Does this stuff really work, I guess, is my question.
It does. It does. And twofold. Building the relationship does work, but it doesn't just take building it to make it work. It takes salespeople. It takes service people that are educated on what you're offering to field that call with a current client and say, did you know we now have a partnership with Vestwell, to actually move the needle? And I think that's where most fall down. They build it and they expect it to sell itself.
It's not just the deal itself.
It is not just the deal itself. You made another point, JD, that made me think, which was about the startup and the amount of clients that some of these, what'd you call them, digital record keepers are now bringing on.
Yeah.
And the moment you said that, I had this thought of how many of them were actually fit correctly into the 401k. And what I mean by that is, was a simple a better fit? Was a 401k with safe harbor better than the 401k with no safe harbor that they designed? Did anybody spend any time actually consulting with the client and helping them set up a 401k? Or did they move the needle by just simply doing what Paychex did for years and saying, do you want a 401k plan? Click this button. And then we see it 2 years later or 3 years later, there's a 5,500 filed with zero assets and nothing that's happened.
It's funny you bring up Paychex, because I have something else I want to talk about today on Paychex's pooled employer plan, where, over the last 3 years or 4 years, they've got 26,000 plans in that thing. And so the same question I'd pose to you is 401k, pooled employer plan, whatever. No, they're just sending out mailers physically and electronically to small businesses saying, you need to set up a retirement plan. And then small business is just saying, okay, Paychex, let me follow you and you show me where to go. Yep. And that's what they do. So there's no consulting. That's bullshit. They don't have time to do that.
And I'm not saying that it's the wrong thing to do in terms of getting plans in place for these people. What I think is just a 5-minute phone call with them regarding the efforts of the plan could lead to such greater outcomes than just having them check a box and set something up. Like, I got a blast from Paychex today asking us, JD, if we were ready to move over our payroll service and our 401k to them. And then at the bottom, it said, due to some issues with our database, you may already be an existing client with Paychex. If so, disregard this email.
Jeez.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, just
I'm okay
blast
with that.
it to everybody.
Hey, sales is sales, man. Throw the net out there. We'll leave this topic, but what I don't want to have happen is to watch. I mean, I wish Aaron Schumann Investwell all the success. I've said that numerous times on the show, but I don't want to see the digital record keepers. I think I'll start using that term here and there. Look back in 3 years and be like, wow, look at all the business we drug in through these kind of strategic partnerships, because that's where their headspace is at. It's like, let's go ink these enterprise deals with these large strategic partners and then sell to their group, and then have us as a legacy industry look back and go like, Jesus, we just missed another one. Like that, we could have done that ourselves, but we never really put in the time and the effort to do it.
I will say, and I'll leave it with this, JD, we have said for years, the payroll is the golden goose in all of this. And if you have a payroll team that will ask the question about 401k plan, and that's who you're creating a relationship with, you can blow the doors off. Because every single time that you're dealing with payroll, you should be thinking about deductions and benefits. And so those kind of relationships with the human resources groups and payroll groups, it's very smart to build that out.
To your original points, clearly it has worked, but you made the point that it takes more than just inking the deal. It takes people, boots on the ground to get it done. And I don't think anyone could argue with that point, but it just makes me think, like, Chad, should you be working more national deals with big firms, or will we also laugh and look back and go, hey Shumi, how many fucking Asure plans did you do in the last 3 years for that thing? And they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we did 60 of them, and it's been a pain in the ass. We had to build all the architecture and we white labeled it for them and had all these fucking meetings, and we flew from Boston to fucking wherever and this and that, and because there will be crash and burn failures on this stuff. There I go, the pessimist in me, the angry face, unsmiling pessimist just snuck in again. Justin,
I was gonna say, oh, you want to move on?
No, let's get your points before I
was gonna
task
say
you with the job.
it's a very different tone that you have compared. I keep thinking about Guideline and how we used to talk a ton of shit on them, and now you're just singing their praise. And I kind of see this very similar.
Yeah,
right?
it is similar. It's like, do we learn?
Like, hey, lining up with payroll. We know how tech focused Vestwell is, right? Are they going to now follow that same suit?
Well, they clearly are, and they come from outside the industry, Justin, and so this seems logical to them. Like, well, of course, this is like fish in a barrel. Let's go to this company that has access to 100,000 small businesses. Let's show them how cool we are. They'll fall in love with us. We'll give them some value, and we will go sell these fish in a barrel and just rake in the new plans. Where I think Empower, Voya, third-party administrators, national broker-dealers across the country in our industry, aka, I'll drink for that, legacy providers, kind of gave up on a lot of that shit because we tried it and it never came to fruition. It didn't work. And so I'm just saying, let's watch them and let's see. Or actually, maybe let's not stand on the sidelines. Jim, thought, go.
Yeah, but JD, don't you think that a lot of the planned business we're talking about here is planned business that Empower, Voya, Principal, they don't want this business?
It's the coverage gap stuff. It's why everyone's fired up on it. It's Secure 2.0, new startup type stuff for sure. But I don't know if I agree with you, Jim, in that they don't want that, because the guys that are sitting with us here at the we're not sitting at a bar. What are we sitting at? We're just sitting in front of a recreational vehicle. They partner with those companies.
I do miss the bar. I really do.
They partner with those companies to sell startups all the time. But let's move on. Justin, I want you to intro our guest, and you do you. But chat bar, I'll be watching the chat bar for some quick intelligent responses in there, but just take it away, Justin.
Before journeying into the world of qualified retirement plans, he was a brilliant and eccentric individual from Hill Valley, California. He's a former Caltech professor known for his energetic demeanor, love for the Old West, and fascination for inventing. Not only was he struck by lightning in 1955, great Scott, but he also figured out how to harness its power 30 years later, which led to his greatest invention, an idea that came to him after slipping and hitting his head on a toilet. Sadly enough, and it was an invention everyone thought would be a household product by 2015, but it's never seen the light of day. Fast forwarding 24 years into the future, where he and his best friend Marty founded a successful 316 fiduciary services company, 401k safe. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Sharp.
Wow. Clap, clap, clap.
Wow. And I haven't aged at all, Justin.
You
That's what's
haven't.
incredible. Since
It's like you travel through time, pal.
I have. I really have.
Oh, okay. That was another little morsel there, huh? No guesses from the audience.
Nothing.
No guesses.
Well, I mean, you did.
Am I in the right? Am I there?
Wait, was there supposed to be like? Was that announced?
Come on! How'd you not pick that up?
No,
Marty
I know what
inventing,
I know what he's talking about. I'm saying no one said for the chat bar to actually guess the movie he's referencing.
Mark, the whole concept here is you're supposed to figure it out yourself. Justin's doing something, you're supposed to figure it out yourself, okay?
Yeah, that was an easy one. That wasn't, if the chat bar can't figure that out, that's a shame.
They tune out when Justin talks.
That's true.
My announcement to the chat bar was I want to see some quick triggers. I was trying to, not tell them what to do, but hint at them. Headline number 2. Welcome to the show, Jim. Here we go, buddy. Headline number 2, Plan Advisor magazine piece titled "Keep It Simple: Innovations in a Small Plan Advisement." Chad, you seemed into this article. I believe I saw you posting on LinkedIn today, you little social media devil you. Your own little posts, people are commenting. What's your takeaway from this article?
I mean, it started off, and I almost wrote you guys a message within the first paragraph where it said, most small businesses don't open plans because of costs. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sick of fucking hearing that.
But that is true though, Chad.
No, that is the push of us. This is the industry talking about costs being headwind. It really, especially with the tax credits and costs. We've never not won a plan because of a startup. It's never been cost. And so the article continues to get into administrative roles, and really what they're trying to do is say, if we want to bridge this coverage gap, we've got to remove procedural responsibility, like tasks, guys, not liability. We need to remove tasks and operations and responsibilities from these businesses that are trying to offer a plan. I'll
clarify for the audience, but Jim Sharp works for 401k Safe and does 316 fiduciary work, so I'm sure you're gonna fucking agree to this shit. But what I want to first hear you answer is that really true that cost is not a deterrent for the 30 million plus small businesses? Chad says no, it's not a problem at all. Cost is not a barrier. Is that a fact?
Certainly cost is always a factor, but the reality is that this industry does a crappy job of selling value. I mean, we don't market the services we provide. We don't engage with the plan sponsor to educate them enough about the value of what it is we're going to do with them and keeping them out of trouble.
Which is important to them, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, guys, you would not believe the plans that cross my desk every week that are so fouled up. It's just amazing. Every week.
So, Chad, you're not necessarily saying that cost isn't in that top 5. You're just saying we tend to lead with it. I believe that article even leads with it. In a lot of its
but
senses.
then it goes away from it. But yes, that's what I'm saying, JD. And I'm not. Let me rephrase a little bit. And I chatted it in the chat bar. It's the perception of cost that I think is an issue, and that goes to the lack of value, as Jim's stating. But the actual cost, when we sit down with a plan and explain to them what it will be for them in expense out of their bottom line, especially now with tax credits, but even before tax credits, cost was never an issue. I never had a startup plan saying we're not going to set one up because it's too expensive.
Let me
Not
propose a
one
question.
time.
Let me propose a question. We'll see if Roby can tackle it first. We've seen the success. I hate to give them the stage over and over again. Did I just fuck up again? I didn't even notice.
Sorry, my buttons are having some wiring issue.
Your buttons are trying to get me drunk. Is what they're trying to do.
Do it.
I'm gonna give them the stage to the disruptors again, the digital record keepers. We've talked about this. They clearly, I like talking while I hold on to my bottle of vodka. It feels good for some reason. They clearly thought that to go out into the market, they need to sell low cost. It seemed to be the first banner they waved. And then behind that banner, they waved the banner of ease. Like you're not gonna have to do jack shit. I'm not even sure they led anywhere in the top 3 with like relieving of your fiduciary responsibility. Maybe it's number 4 or something. But I feel like they led with low cost and simplicity. Unlike what Jim was just saying. Jim was just saying we need to sell value. We need to sell the importance of all this stuff. I think guideline and human interest, and I'll put Vestal in there right now, all went after it a different way. And here I go, eating crow. Yeah. They clearly fucking succeeded. So where am I missing? Where's the connection here that I'm missing?
Well, I think you're right in this also that they simplified a process, or at least they gave the perception of a simplified process. I mean, I can go online and set up a 401k plan, and I don't need anybody else.
10 minutes or less, man.
6 minutes. Yeah.
So, I mean, that certainly factors into it. But look, I'm not even saying that. Look, with the micro employer, the fiduciary piece is just a non-issue. I mean, look, no small employer, most small employers can't spell fiduciary, much less understand what it means. And so I don't really feel like that is the table stake here as much as it is, when I say value, making sure that the employer, if they want to offer this benefit, they understand that, hey guys, there's no free lunch. It comes with a cost, and there's services that have to be provided. And, this is how it works.
I don't know, Jim. I wasn't going to do this to you, but I don't know. I feel like that might, and I'm just playing here.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be the sales pitch from 5 years ago.
It is.
And I get it because it makes a lot of sense, and it's very logical, and it's smart. But I think we're being beat at this game by other companies not taking that approach and instead saying, look, it's cheap and it's easy and we'll set it up in 10 minutes or less.
Time out though. You have to quantify what being beat by this approach means, JD. And if we're talking about selling, then yes, they're beating us. If we're talking about setting up quality plans that don't have issues, they're not.
It's all about you can't buy Lambos with goodwill, bro. You can't buy Lambos with goodwill.
I know, but that needs to be stated that yes, going out and saying costs aren't a factor, it's cheap, and we'll make this easy for you is going to win you a shit ton of plans. It is plain and simple. To my point of cost not being an issue, I think. In my narrow-minded view of what they have done, they've taken cost out of the equation. And their second point of this being easy all goes back to what, guys? First headline, payroll integration. Where are they getting most of their plans from? They're saying it's easy. The payroll integration exists. This operational efficiency is there. That's why they're winning. That's why they're kicking our ass.
Okay.
Those are the two. I think those are the two biggest hurdles for any employer, right? It's cost and it's the administrative side. They don't know the value of a quality, third-party administrator or a 316 provider until they actually need it, right? They've with the minimal research they've done over the years, they realize, oh shit, I got to do payroll stuff. I got to, monitor everything from a fiduciary standpoint. I don't want to deal with that. And then these guys come in here and solve that problem for them. They don't need to speak to the value of a quality firm behind them.
Well, I'll tell you what I like about that article is we've talked about the coverage gap as an industry for a long time. And what I'm seeing now is a trend of like people taking action. Like it does seem, and I'm even going to throw pooled employer plans into this because they were part of that article. And we'll talk a bit about that later, but it seems to me like the industry is coming at those small businesses without plans from a variety of angles. And we're trying really hard to at least create what they want, whatever that is, whether it's low costs, easy to use, whether it covers their fiduciary responsibility, which is a big banner waving of the pooled employer plan, right? A huge one. So we're all coming at it from different angles and trying to tell these small flower shop, auto body shop on the corner, retail store, like, look, you too can have a 401k plan. We're here to help you. We all know this. Sorry to go through it again, but state-run stuff is helping out in a big way and will continue to be kind of a push that will help fuel all this. And then Secure 2.0 and the tax credits that Chad mentioned. So I guess what I'm trying to say is to all the industry people listening in, it seems like it's happening. Like it seems like there's this push. Now, are the numbers really there? I don't know. We'll see how many new startups we put in place over the next few years. But I like to see this this trend, at least, even if I disagree with a lot of it in terms of how they're doing it, selling snake oil or whatever the fuck they're doing. But it's cool to see the needle being moved, or at least the hands are on the needle to move it, Roby. They're starting to.
Yeah.
It's been kind of going on for a while now, man. I mean,
it takes time.
I was saying none of this is earth shattering. We kind of all felt this coming since years ago. I mean, when we sat in Oregon and learned about Oregon saves before the state mandates were a big deal, I mean, you kind of got this feeling like, okay, we're going to venture down a path here. Eventually, that's going to, we thought we were in a pretty good spot, and I still agree that we are. And we keep going back to this. And I'll just keep saying, I hate hearing the word selling. I really do. I know that's my day job, but I'm not out there selling. You know, I'm just trying to at least show people what their options are, and they make the decision if they want to work together. What am I really selling, right? I mean, I hope at the end of the day, I'm not selling what we consider to be something that's necessary, right? I hope that we're providing the right input and the right ability for somebody to decide what's best for them.
Do you know that it's that very laid back, I don't care millennial attitude that makes you a great salesman, Roby?
Don't call me that. Don't call me
so
that.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Jim, let me ask you real quick before we leave behind small plans for a little bit. 316 fiduciary services, and I'm not talking specifically 401k safe, but just in general. Do they fit in the micro startup market? I mean, pooled employer plans say they do because it's part of it, but like you live, breathe, and sleep this stuff. Like, is that the best fit? And I'm not trying to feed an answer to you, but I'm curious.
I mean, no. Look, we were one of the original open MEPs, so I certainly know.
Bring them up.
You know. Yeah.
What are you drinking there, Jim?
I am drinking Sam Adams Summer Ale and also a Summer Shandy. So,
okay, well, what's your penalty drink?
Oh, this is it, man. Beer is as hard as it gets.
Take 2 large swigs every time that graphic goes up on the screen. Jesus Christ.
I must say, Jim, you've got 2 different summer varieties. You're really getting in the spirit, huh?
I am. I'm saying goodbye to summer 2023.
So I was going the opposite direction. I'm like, you sound like you're kicking it off, baby.
So I would guess, Jim, that you just said like it's not a great fit, but I think on the other side of the coin, you would probably say that they're definitely in need of babysitting, right? The small market.
Totally. I mean, there is a severe need, and where I see the disconnect is that most plan sponsors, when you break it down, and in the micro employer space, it's going to be an office administrator typically, that they really don't understand how 401ks operate. So they need education, and there's really not a good education platform out there for
I disagree so much with that, Jim, because even with proper education, they're going to have no damn idea what you just taught them 2 days later when an employee knocks on the door.
You and the two of you are talking about fiduciary education for plan sponsors. Am I right? That's what you're talking about?
I'm talking operational education, but same
Yeah,
thing.
same thing.
Look, I agree in the sense that you're never going to have somebody that's, QKA,
God,
designated.
no need to go there.
Here would,
But the point is that they really come into this, and what we typically discover when we're brought in is that they had no idea what they were supposed to be doing with the payroll file and even how to format a file, a data file to upload to a record keeper. I mean, it's just basic things that they struggle with.
Can I say something really controversial but true? So, we have tons of them, right? We have hundreds and hundreds of small businesses. And I think everyone should drink when it malfunctions. Just drink. It's part of the game.
That was a text from Justin. It counts, buddy.
That is not in the chat. That does not count.
that is still a text.
And Jim, when I say everyone, I mean the person whose head popped up. I think that a lot of these companies that are small are fucking up their plan. I think if you went in and did an audit on a lot of, and I don't mean audit in the classic sense of Form K, but if you just went in and looked at everything and sniffed around and asked some questions, I think you'd find a pretty high percentage of small employers that were doing things wrong, like either not understanding their eligibility or excluding some small group of employees, or maybe even entering comp on their census incorrectly, or even if they had a 360 payroll feed, there was shit fucked up on that wasn't coming over right. And so my point is, a lot of the work that was being done, whether that's the compliance testing or the prep of the government filings, could be inaccurate or done wrong. But you know what? The world moves on. Like, those companies continue to have a plan. Their employees defer into the plan. They potentially get a match, and everything's hunky-dory and life goes on. Like, I almost feel like, is that so bad? Like, and by the way, where's the disaster there? Because it's been going on for years. And then secondly, when we look back at the success of human interest guideline, whatever, these tens of thousands, eventually hundreds of thousands of plans, and say, oh my God, they're all messed up. Guess who we've been accusing that of for the last 2 decades? Paychecks and automatic deferral suckers.
Processing.
Yeah. We've been saying for 2 decades, oh my God, it's all wrong. Oh my God, their clients are so screwed. Oh my God, it's so bad. But guess what? Where's the fallout, everybody? Where is it?
They still keep winning business.
Well,
I mean, we keep fixing a lot of their plans, but they still keep winning business.
I think I just sold against our entire industry. I apologize for that. I don't even know. Yeah.
I was pretty confused about where you were going with all of that.
It's like, why even have a third-party administrator? Just wing it. No one's going to ask you about your test, man. Just tell them you passed it. Who cares? No, I'm kidding.
Maybe in like 10 years, when Secure Act 5.9 comes out, they'll just completely axe compliance testing, and then we'll all just ride off into the sunset because it won't fucking matter anymore.
An old gray-haired Brian Graff would never let that happen in the future. He'll fight for you, Mark.
Well, that's good to know.
Yes.
To your very original question to Jim about microspace and 316, if I broke out the 316 role into like what we refer to it as like light and holistic. Jim in 401k Safe is holistic. In the micro space, I think the light is often what a plan sponsor is actually looking for. They're looking for help in eligibility tracking. They're looking for help in notice fulfillment. They're looking for help in operations. They're not looking for someone to sign the 5500. They don't care about the 5500 being signed, really. They don't have much fiduciary risk. Do they have responsibility? Yes. Do they have risk, to Jim's point? No. And so in the micro space, do you need a holistic 316? Probably not. But do you need some support because you don't know how to determine compensation? You don't know how to calculate the match. You don't know how to monitor payroll. When your payroll person goes on vacation for 2 weeks and the business owner takes over that role, they have no damn clue how to do it and process contributions.
Yep.
That's where I think the micro space really needs help.
Fair enough.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
I'll ask them to pull out their wallets and pay for it, Chad, and see where you get. Okay, let's go to the next headline. Top 5 states to retire in. This is kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I think California ended up number 1 on this. They went
Definitely.
For sure. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
They went
So cheap.
lower cost of living, affordable but high quality healthcare, and low crime. Does anyone know? I know you guys know because you read. Chat bar, I'd love to know, what do you think your guess is for top 5 or number 1? Anybody chime away.
You posted it, didn't you?
Did I
What number
post
1
it?
Yeah.
was?
Wait, we read the article. Yeah, it's. Can
Well,
I
he
say
knows
it?
we know. He's
Well,
asking
no,
chat
yeah.
bar.
Oh, to everybody else, not to you.
Well, of
That's
course,
bad.
Samson.
Ooh,
Samson
Samson
read it.
So
'Cause he reads
Iowa,
everything.
Iowa comes in number 1. And then what? They're trailed by, what do we got here? Mississippi, West Virginia. I think Montana was in the list. Somebody put
Wyoming.
a. Somebody
Keep going,
put a.
JD. JD, don't stop.
I
Is
think we're
Missouri
good
in
here.
there?
I
Is
think
Missouri
we're
in
good.
there?
4.
Is Missouri in there?
Missouri,
Wow.
number 4 in there.
God, you're so smart. But what I was just
Head
about
of
to
the
say
game.
is like, really? Like, let's be real here. Is that where you want to retire? Because someone put a gun to my fucking head. Like,
Dude,
these
people
the
are
places
all
to go?
about that they're becoming all about that laid back life, low cost, having some nature to stare at instead of a fucking concrete wall.
I don't
I
believe-
want to know.
I don't believe nature was in the criteria, Silent J. I don't think that was in
Who
there.
gives a shit? It was where do they want to retire? And I'm giving you the real reason is why.
What, Mark?
I mean,
Sorry,
no,
Roby.
I'm just no. If there's people in the chat bar who live in those states, you know what? Congrats, you're already living the dream, like they
Yeah,
say.
they're probably
So,
like,
Chad,
shut the fuck up, guys.
Chad, congrats, buddy. You're
Yeah.
already there. You might as well just stop working.
Yeah, I'm retiring. JD, sorry. It's been fun. I'm
No
done.
problem. Roby, you're going to be elevated to national sales director. There's Chad. I don't
We
know.
are
In,
doomed.
in all seriousness, I'll go to you, Jim. Like, we do as an industry help people accumulate money. We're going to start to get better at helping them decumulate it. But that's, as a guy who lives in California, like, this is a real fact. Like, to spend your entire career saving in California, maybe even you buy a condo back in the early 2000s for $350K, it doubles in value. You then move into a house for $800,000. Now that house is worth, $1.5 million. You've worked your whole life. Like, moving to one of these states and some of the others in the top 20 really changes the math for you, right? I mean, like there's probably a lot of logic to retiring in a lot of these places. The only problem is the surf sucks, but
So I'm in one of those states. I'm in Alabama. So we certainly see people from California and the Northeast and other parts of the country that are at the bottom of that list moving to our
Moving.
state. And you're right. It's a cost of living thing.
I immediately regret this decision.
do you know, this is not going to come as a shock to anyone, but because of the obscene amounts of money that I make, I've looked at other states that don't have state income tax and contemplated the idea of like moving there. And then I come to my fucking senses and I realize California is fucking beautiful and the waves are awesome. And I'm rich enough. I might as well just stay here.
Wow.
Fuck it.
Wow. So my counter to that, JD, was going to be most people can't afford to, and most people don't surf every day like you do. But one of the benefits of going to one of the states mentioned there is that now your money does stretch a little further and you can take the vacation to Hawaii. Or you could take the vacation to Florida or to California.
Hell yeah.
Whereas if you're paying the cost of living in some of those states, like you're somewhat handcuffed in your retirement years where you no longer have income coming in.
So I'm sure that's a conversation that advisors have had with 401k participants over the years where, hey, well, where do you intend to live in retirement? It might be a more affordable place than you are now. So anyways, I like this ranking. And what's really cool is if you go to 401k Specialist Mag, read this, but click on the link to go to the bank rate article. They actually have a little map of the 50 states. You can kind of hover over each state and see where it goes. And yeah, God bless you if you're going to go
JD,
join Chad in the Midwest.
I also feel confident that as soon as your kids are done with their international schooling and Florida school, if they leave California, you and Tracy are gone, dude. There's no way you stick
you
around.
Think so?
Here's the
hell
problem.
yeah.
I'll just fly first class to see him. It's fine.
I don't want to sound selfish, but you think we'll follow them and the grandkids or whatever? Yeah.
There's no way Tracy does not live
I'll
near.
probably be divorced at that point.
What if they live in 3 different places, Chad?
Jeez.
Kidding, joking. Yeah. I don't know. There's planes these days. You know, you get lie down seats, first class. You can fly anywhere pretty quick. Okay, let's play a game before we get into another. Mark's just shaking his head. Before we get into another subject.
I'm just going back to that article real quick. Aren't those people from those states like, don't tell everybody about our secret? Can we just keep it,
You know what,
so
Mark?
now, or are the other states trying to kick people out and say, get out? There's too many people here.
Do you know?
I don't believe any of this.
That's exactly
conspiracy.
You sound like a surfer. That's exactly what surfers do with great surf spots. You're like, don't tell anyone that this is happening. Don't let them come. Pretty soon, everyone from California will be living next door to Chad and wearing Wranglers and cowboy boots and spitting fucking Kodiak tobacco out of their mouth. I want to bring back an old game from back in the past we used to play. And then what I would tell Brandon to kick off this game is play the tune that I love, the nice little sound that gets me excited for this game. Brandon, are you there?
For me, I really like code.
That's not it. Damn it. I tried to prep you. I emailed you.
Oh.
It's all good. It's all good.
Brandon's been drinking vodka in his free time.
Show these guys, or these days, guys.
I swore you were doing corn. I don't know why.
Hey, everyone out there. We have a new job opening at retireholics.com. Send your resumes to.
I'll write the posting.
Brandon will write it. No. Go ahead and just put up the first slide. What this game is one of these things is not like the others. One of these things not belong. And Brandon would play this beautiful Sesame Street song back in the day, and it would just really get me going. But
back in the day, it was like 6 months ago.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with this one first, okay? So the way this works, Jim, is you got 4 people up here, and if you need any help with who the people are, you can ask anyone. That's fine. The chat bar can help. We can help you. But you need to find out is which one of these people is like not supposed to be in this group. Like something connects a lot of them and then one shouldn't be there. Any guesses to whom that might be and then why? And do you know who all 4 of these people are?
I do not.
Who are
That's
you?
the Diamond from Saved by the Bell. Tommy Lee.
That's Screech.
Yeah.
Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte.
I recognize Nick Nolte.
From Point Break fame. And that's the queen of social media, Kim Kardashian. Yeah, he's
Swayze, dude.
No, but he was the cop.
No, that was freaking
It was a different guy.
Yeah.
That's him?
No, it wasn't.
I must say Nick Nolte looks a lot like Gary Busey in that picture.
Hey, Chopper, help me out.
Thank you.
Oh, Kushner just said that.
Yeah.
That's right. Sorry, not Point Break.
All right, wait, is it who?
Okay, Jim, what's your guess? Who doesn't belong in this group and why?
I'm going to say Kim Kardashian doesn't belong.
And why don't you think she would belong in this group?
Well, gender as well as I think the other 3 have had some.
I just figured it out.
Addiction problems in the past.
I like Jim. your brain is on the right path for this game. You're a little off with this one, because the correct answer is the Nick Nolte, Gary Busey lookalike, because he's the only one
No
who
sex
hasn't
tape.
been in a sex tape.
Yeah.
Matthew nailed it too in the
No, I
chat
had,
bar.
dude. I had that one from the jump.
I thought it was.
You did,
Dustin
Robbie? You
Diamond 'cause
did?
He was dead.
I did, yeah, 100%.
Good job, Matthew. Good job, Matthew. But you are correct. You could have gone female. That works, but that's not how this game works. Okay, let's do the next one. Next one. Thank you,
Oh,
Brandon.
there it is.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the other by the time I finish this song?
Thank you, Brandon. I love you. Rescind that. This one's easy, Jim. And this is actually a blast from the past. We've done this one before, but I just thought I'd grab it. So who does not belong in this group, and then explain why. Chat bar, you can play along. You know you can.
I know this one.
And don't say the alien because he's not human. Do you know who you're looking at?
Yeah, I do.
All of
them? I'm going to say Terry Powers.
Why? He's the only guy with a mustache?
Yeah, it's it.
No, come on. The chat bar knows, right? Chat bar knows. Everyone in this group has been brainwashed by the guy in the second square there. And I'm the only one who's a free thinker thinking for myself. If I see Terrence Powers write some other post on social media saying how booming his business is, I'm going to fucking lose my shit. Of course your business is booming, you pep motherfucker. Yeah, these are all pep-loving freaks. I'll drink twice for that shit. DeCenso, you made the game. You made the game, buddy. Hey, I'm about to drink for Jim tonight because, yeah. Tell you what, vodka straight, not the best taste. All right, last.
Hey, just for clarification, Mike DeCenso was my second choice.
Okay. Great. Last one, Brandon. We got one more. Okay. We got Pete Rose, Lindsay Lohan, Nicolas Cage, and Tony La Russa. I mean, you're never. I love how serious you're never going to figure out which one, and why. I mean, I don't know. I guess people are getting the sex tape one, so it's possible. This one has to do with money.
Yeah, so I'm going to say it's Tony La Russa.
Ding, ding, ding. You're correct.
Have all had serious financial problems, maybe filed bankruptcy, something along that line.
Why don't we call it tax evasion, and then you'd be correct. Yes. Hey, well done. Well done. I'm going to drink for that. Jim, yes. Those three had tax evasion, but not La Russa. Although, don't think La Russa's this great guy. He did have a DUI, and I'll drink for that.
Wow.
JD's just wanting to drink vodka in his free time right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are you getting back to the campground tonight?
No. I've been camping for 4 days. And before that, I was in Maui for 6 days. I drove home yesterday, got home in the middle of the night last night. I'm at home. So
I thought I heard your dogs.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I definitely was on the campground for...
Didn't your post... never mind. Okay, I see what you're saying.
I posted when I was there.
Yeah.
Okay. Topic... Buyer beware. You know, I wrote a blog post on this a long time ago. I think it was titled Buyer Beware. It's at, where is my blog? 401k.com. FOURK.com. I don't even remember. Anyways, it's still there. You can go there. And I wrote an article that was like, hey, buyer beware. And then these fuckers stole it years later, the title. But the concept here is really easy. And Jim, this is where your expertise comes in. 316. I mean, it's always been in the code. But I would say like, I don't know, 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, maybe somewhere in the middle. That'd be 9, Roby. it was like, oh, this is going to be a big thing. Like, we're going to start selling add-on 316 services to plan sponsors. And I got really excited about this. And I apologize to anyone who's heard this story before, but I had taken over my father's third-party administration firm. And I'm sure I've told you this, Jim, and I had tried to make things more efficient. I'd taken my old man's business. They used to dot every I, cross every T, to spend a lot of time on everything. And I tried to make things more efficient through technology, through process, to kind of lower our costs, to be honest with you, and
Fired everybody
and be more attractive. And but what I had to do is kind of cut some corners, not do all the details. And then when I heard, well, we're going to sell 316 fiduciary services, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be able to go back to the way my dad did things, charge a premium for this, and actually do these dotting of the I's, crossing the T's, these hand holding for my clients, and charge them a fee for it. And then I started to meet with Chad and the sales team and come up with a number for what that would be. And I can't remember, but I think I came at you guys, Chad, and I was like, maybe it's going to be $7,500 or 10 grand. And we could literally do everything. And your jaw kind of hit the ground and you were like, there's all these vendors out there doing it for $500, $750. I'm like, what? How the fuck are they doing all that for $500? And I learned really quickly what 316 Lite is. So, and to me now, the buyer beware means when someone says they're going to do 316 fiduciary services, there's really no normal term for that across the space. It could be anything. Is this frustrating for you? This was 10 years ago. Do you still feel this way today? And how do you reconcile all this?
It's changed. Look, it's certainly, I think this space in the 316 world is leveled out quite a bit. 10 years ago, it was the wild, wild west, and it was, 31 flavors, right? I mean, everybody that offered a 316 service, you had to read their contract to see what they were doing. That's right. Where with 321 and 338, we know what that is, right? It's all standardized.
Pretty clear, right?
We know we don't have to read the contract. We know that basically
there can be, to be clear, there can be some nuances on execution in 321, but yeah, you're right.
Absolutely. But overall, the fiduciary part, is pretty standardized across the industry. But on 316, it could be anything. And so I think, as Chad mentioned earlier, we've seen this movement towards a more holistic approach versus more of a light approach. And look, there's nothing wrong with 316 light and just administration. It's just that I think the plan sponsor needs to know going in that they may not have the fiduciary protection. They may not have the consulting piece that they're going to get if they use a 316 that really does the full gamut.
One of the issues, Jim, with all of that is that so many people will preach they're a 316 and not distinguish between what they're actually doing and what they're not doing. But the problem is that, and I'm not banging this on you, but most of the folks that offer 316 have this assumption that the client needs 316. Like they can quantify that term. They need a 316. No, that's not what the client's looking for. The client's looking for this, this, and this. And usually those this, and this are operational in nature and not fiduciary protection in nature. And so I don't mind JD 316 light.
Oh yeah,
I really don't. And I did at the beginning. I was frustrated at the beginning because 316 was being lumped into this big thing. People would come to us and say, Chad, are you a 316? And I would say, no, we don't offer that service. We partner with a great solution, blah, 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 blah. And they would come back and say, yeah, I found one for $250 a year or $500 a year. And I'd say, just send me the contract so I could take a look. It's good for me to know market value, what's going on out there. And when I take a look at what they're doing absolutely nothing. Nothing. And they're saying they're a 316. They're doing one task that is a 316 duty, and they're signing on as a 316, essentially saying, we don't do all of this, we do this. That bothers me.
But the smart ones can, and this goes back to the digital record keepers, as well as some of the pooled employer plan providers. The smart ones can wave the flag the marketing sales banner of we will relieve you of your responsibilities. It doesn't matter whether we're going to relieve you of 1, 2, 3, or 100. If I'm going to relieve you of 1 or 2, I can still sell it as, hey, I'm going to do fiduciary services for you and take away the work from you. And so it still is a misunderstood role. And I still believe it's very much Wild Westy because it varies from vendor to vendor. And I think we live today in the most aggressive time we have where vendors are selling this kind of, we're going to do it for you. I would think Jim would be frustrated to all heck because there's so many of them saying we're going to do it for you, but they're not really doing a whole lot.
You're right. I mean, look, there's certainly record keepers today that have a 316 offering, and you know, are they a fiduciary to the plan? I mean, Fidelity claims they are, and you know, I ask, you know, everybody that is that not a conflict of interest? I mean, who would hire an investment fiduciary? And that investment fiduciary is also providing all of the underlying funds in the plan. I mean,
Jim, do you know how many TPAs trip out on me?
Oh.
That when they ask, I'll drink for that. When they ask, I love to pitfall. When they ask, do you offer 316 services? And I say, yeah, we do. We partner with firms to offer them because how could I be a 316 on my own plan? Like I'm supposed to like review my own work and do my own thing. And I think a lot of third-party administrators look at me and are like, are you crazy? Like this is a great money grab to go do this stuff, where I feel like I agree with you. I think it's a conflict of interest. Like I think in the same way that a pooled plan provider should be independent in a pooled employer plan from the administration, from 316. I feel like a third-party administrator shouldn't be the 316. But anyways, that case in point, right? This whole marketplace is like just a garbage can of different versions of this. So
it is. And look, I think that I saw somebody put in the chat that, you know, are you a fiduciary or not? Because that's where the rubber meets the road for us. I mean, you know, we're not only signing a 5,500. Anybody can sign a 5,500, but you named in the plan document as the plan administrator. I mean, there's got to be a level of accountability to be the fiduciary on these plans, and that's the problem.
Here's the bummer and this goes in favor of what Chad was saying earlier. If you're focused on sales, you can make a lot of things sound good. Like,
yep,
I can tell you I'm going to sign your 5,500, and that can seem on the surface like a really big deal, right? Like I saw that very article we read, Chad, today about the small plan stuff where the guy said, hey, we're signing your 5,500 and that's what you want because that's where the like rubber meets the road or something. When you're signing it, then it's legit. Bullshit. You can sign a 5,500 if your contract says, hey, it's only as good as the data you provide me. Like I'll sign it, but if you're not feeding me right data and you're messed up on your end, then my signature's not worth jack shit because I'm getting my information from you. And that permeates a lot of these contracts. Like that's pretty normal stuff.
Yeah, I'll take it even a step further. There is a former 316, I won't name, but in their service agreement, it explicitly said we are not a fiduciary to your plan, but they were signing the 5,500.
Right.
Shit, really?
So
yeah.
I will take it one more step further and say that I believe that Chad's goal in life would be for someone at a conference to approach him and say, hey man, can you autograph my 5,500?
That'd be pretty sweet.
Well,
right?
Mark blurry to the rest of you too.
Yep.
Because my camera's going in and out. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Well, I just want to reiterate what I wrote about 15 years ago, or 10 years ago, which is like, hey, you need to be careful with this stuff. And then maybe as an industry, open your eyes, wake up, everybody. These digital record keepers, these pooled employer plans are, sorry for the analogy of waving the banner, waving the flag, but they're waving it heavily and rapidly about taking the responsibility out of the client's hands, and they're biting on these lures. And if there's TPAs listening in, damn it, I didn't do that on purpose. My father was doing this. You're probably doing this. You have been relieving your clients of roles and responsibilities forever. That's what you do. Maybe you need to brand it that way more instead of the way, like, not to pick on you, Jim. Jim was saying earlier, like expressing your value. Like, we do these things. It's very important. It's a scary world. I think you should probably be selling yourself less like that and more like, we do everything for you. And the reason why you don't say everything
this, and this
is because you have integrity. And you were never comfortable with saying everything. Neither am I. I was never comfortable saying those words. But guess
JD.
what? Your competition's saying that shit. So you should get out there and say, I relieve you of fucking everything you do. What, Chad? You don't like what?
No, I'm not disagreeing, but you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth. Because earlier when we were talking about people saying that they're low cost and that's a sales technique. Is it working for sales? Yes. Is it working for doing what's right for the client? No. And essentially you're kind of flipping that the other way around, saying, use the sales technique and say you're doing all these things, even if you're not doing them all. Say you're a 316, but even if you're only fulfilling 2 316 duties.
Do it for the better good, everybody. Do it for the people and the plans.
The better good?
Yes, the better good. They'll get a plan.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
I get that.
Best interest of plan.
Bridge that coverage.
T-shirts that say the better good. Please.
Is that not proper English?
Jim, I do have something on this topic for you in the after show that came up this week that I want to know about.
Sure.
Okay, let's spin the wheel of ice. Spin the
Oh shit!
Land on Mark. Land on Mark. Land on Mark. Land on Mark.
Oh, Chad! That's what you get.
I went to the store and got.
All right, hurry up! I gotta go.
I got freshies.
Go real slow, Chad. Real slow.
Okay, I would like to go to Chap Our Champion. Hang on, my wife wants to know if I want a burrito. Hang on.
Yes.
Heart of crack.
Burrito. I'm gonna go Chap Our Champion.
What kind of burrito are you going with? Chicken? Steak?
I just said yes.
She knows.
I'm gonna go Chap Our Champion. I want to mix it up. I'm getting tired. I'm getting can't come up with a word.
It's the better good.
Tahoe JD. I want to do this. Let's mix it up. Let's do this a little different. Let's nominate someone to the finals for Chap Our Champion. And then let's do what we used to do with a tie. Let's force the finalists to answer a question in the chat bar for the champion. Like that. Let's have them battle it out. You know what I mean? And so my vote is going to go for Jim Sampson because he's a goddamn goat. And I'm going to drink for that. And I did that on purpose. He was weaving in some kind of Back to the Future stuff very intelligently. And yeah. I'm going to throw him into the final. And he could be wicked when asked a question in this final kind of draw to draw. Not head to head, but heads to heads. For the greater, for the gooder good. Oh. Okay, Justin, your vote.
Oh, it was tough tonight. Everybody was on fire, but I'm going with Eric Dyson.
Oh, nice. I like that. Okay. Eric Dyson into the finals. I don't have a name for it. Jim Sharp, your vote for Chap Our Champion. Sampo, Dyson.
I think I'm going to go with Mike DeCenso.
Okay. That's okay. Pep-loving people, God damn it, need love too. DeCenso is into the finals. I'm not sure how quick on the draw he is with comments, but Shannon, what are you saying?
He's calculated.
Why is Shannon saying no? Are you telling me not to drink from the vodkas? I'm going to finish that whole bottle, Shannon. All right, Roby.
I really like throwing in names that I don't often see.
Nice.
I need these And if you're not a newbie, I apologize. Maybe I don't follow the chat bar that
They were
well,
there all
but
the
then
time.
yeah, he's just all the time. Nate Bell.
Yeah, he's been around.
Yeah.
He's been around. All
I
right,
haven't
Nate.
seen your name, Nate, so you're new to me. Sorry.
Nate, get your keyboard right in front of you and get ready for a witty response to something coming up here. All right, Chad?
I'm going to destroy Hackler's emotions right now. And I'm not going to vote Hack. And I'm going to say Matthew G. Because Matthew G had himself a good night.
Matthew G is into the finals. All right, we've got Sampo, Dyson, DeCenso, Nate, and Matthew G. Nate Bell. Roby, this is your time on the show.
Oh no.
Take some time with it. By the way, did you see Budweiser's on the up? They had a decent financial running. The earnings are up. Like, I feel like that stock's about to pop off.
I thought they just announced that they realized they weren't going to recover from the losses.
Justin, shut up. I'm trying to keep things going here. What are you talking about?
Oh, I didn't realize.
I don't know. No, I saw good numbers from them. Sorry, Roby. We'll do that next show. Drunk guy updates.
Wait, so now it's all 5 have to give responses?
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy moly. Okay, fine.
Come up with something, Mark.
All right.
Mark, make sure they know what I know Sampo knows, but make sure everyone knows what's about to happen.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to have to put your answer in the chat bar, and then if it's good, it doesn't have to be funny. It could be valuable, could be educational, but usually funny ones, to be honest. All right. Since we all just heard the congressional hearing that took place and that aliens, in fact, do exist, right? Okay. If tonight, actually right now, in about 39 seconds, an alien landed in your backyard, or I don't know if you live weird places where front yard, porch, whatever, landed at your house and knocked on your front door, and you opened it, and there you saw an alien, however you envision it, small, tall, don't care.
Hackler would have won. He's gonna eat it. Sorry.
All right. What would you say to it?
Ooh.
There's your question.
Hello.
All right, here we go. All right, take your time. I mean, although quickness, you get extra points for quick, right? Matthew G, hi. Deadpan humor. I like it. Hi. Not bad. I feel like Hackler would have had my vote. Take me to your leader. DeCenso, that's what I expected from you. That's classic. What did you chat GPT that shit?
Nice.
Nice ass. There's Dyson in the, yeah, he is. I'd ask them to let me know if they found intelligent life on this planet. They do.
Ooh,
Dyson, that's too nerdy of a response.
Yeah.
Are we? Do we get everyone?
Voting?
That's
We
a
got
chat
Matthew G.
response.
Do we get
everybody.
Nate Bell? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice ass. Everyone's in, right? Sampo in? Yes. Hi, oh, here he is. Hi, I've got a
Samson.
friend you need to meet. Let me introduce you to Will Hackler. Okay, I'm going to take the executive role here and say it's between nice ass
And hi.
and high. Yes. So Nate Bell or Matthew G. Justin, your vote.
I'm going Nate. That's pretty good.
Nate with nice ass. Chad.
I'm going Nate with nice ass.
Nate with nice ass. Don't have to play along, Jim. You can pick your own person. Who do you voting for?
I like nice ass.
Nice ass. Okay.
We all do.
That's 3. I'm going to go for high, but I don't think it matters, Matthew. Right? I got 3. Nate Bell, you are the chat bar champion. Way to go, buddy. I think that's a first. It's got to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall
God, it's
Nate
his first
winning
show.
before.
All right, buddy.
He's never been here before, according to me.
Message me your home address and your @ on Tinder, and I'll send you some stuff sometime. Yeah. Oh, tell me if you're vegan or you like meat or hobbies and things. Like, let's get real close, me and you, Nate. Okay, let's become friends through direct message.
This is not creepy at all.
All right, everybody. maybe a quick pep. Fuck.
Quick. I got a
go.
question for Jim. So I need a quick one. You can leave,
Okay.
Justin.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
In the after show, get out of here.
Love
Jim.
you.
Quick after show.
Good luck tonight.
Done. Brandon, play some music. I'm gonna take a piss.
I'll be back in a minute, Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, sway. Yeah, shit.